what's up, everybody, and everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Fearfully Made, Faithfully Single. I'm your host, Krystal, and today we're diving into part 2 of our friendship series, When Friendship Hurts. Last week, in part 1, we talked about what real friendship is and what it looks like, and the beauty of having people who walk with you, who stand with you, and cover you. But today, we're shifting into the messy parts, the places where you've cried, the conversations that left a knot in your stomach, and the moments where you had to ask yourself, is this still my friend? Or is this a season that's changing? This is the episode where we get honest about hurt, boundaries, and healing. Well, we always like to go to a scripture, so we're going to get grounded in the word first. We're going to go to Psalms 34 and 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Are you ready? Take a deep breath. Let's get into it. When friendship hurts. Now, friendship is a beautiful thing, but it's also human. And anywhere humans are involved, there is room for hurt. There were seasons and certain comments from my married friends that kind of stung a little bit more than they realized. You know the line, well, you're single and, you don't understand. Ooh, I believe in certain instances that statement is true. However, being single does not disqualify your wisdom, your compassion, or your life experience. There are moments when I felt overlooked, moments when I felt undervalued, and times when friendship felt one-sided, like I was pouring, I was supporting, I was showing up, but the energy was not reciprocated. So there's that kind of confusion that happens in some friendships. You start to wonder, what role do I even play anymore? Are we still close? Are we drifting? Is this friendship seasonal or is it permanent? Well, we know in Psalms 139, verses 23 and 24, this is in the New Living Translation. It says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Point out anything in me that offends you." Now, we're talking a lot about how friends made us feel, but it's also important that we look at ourselves. Are we in right standing with God? Have we done something that might have offended or hurt the other person? Friendships are very important, and the older we get, 35, 40, 50, they are crucial. Well, we know life can be life, and without any warning, a trust can be broken. So let me tell you about a moment in time where several of my friends were getting engaged or married. It was like one after the other. And inside, I was kind of feeling left behind. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't bitter. I just felt behind. And I'm like, Lord, did I miss something? Did I take the wrong turn somewhere? I opened up to a friend. Let's call them friend A. And I shared exactly how I felt. Vulnerable, raw, honest, and I thought it was a safe place because remember, you don't know a friend is a friend until you trust them with something that they could use against you. But you got to, if they're your friend at any point in time, the friendship is going to be tested. But friend A turned right around and repeated what I said to friend B. That's the friend who was newly engaged. And when I tell you, besides angry, I felt exposed. I felt uncomfortable. I felt embarrassed. I was feeling, at this big age, should I still be struggling with these feelings? But I realized it doesn't matter your age. Feelings are feelings and they must be dealt with. It put me in an awkward position with friend B, having to explain my emotions because I really wasn't ready to unpack them yet. On one hand, a boundary of trust had been crossed by friend A, who I confided in. And at the same time, I hurt friend B. Now, I know with all of my heart, the intention was not to betray me. They were trying to share the tenderness of what I was feeling so the engaged friend could offer me some comfort. But instead, for me, it kind of created this weird space, like I wasn't happy for them. And that wasn't the case at all. Again, I was just feeling behind. My feelings were raw, they were unfiltered, they were unprocessed. I was still trying to figure out how I was feeling. It was just messy, just a big scrambled mix of emotions that I had to work through. And I remember during that time, I kind of sat and went through a mental Rolodex of a lot of my closest friends. And during that time, every single one of them was either married, engaged, had a boyfriend, or was actively dating. And here I was feeling hurt, while at the same time, I accidentally hurt someone else. It was a tight situation, okay? It was one of those between a rock and a hard place moments where you're trying to protect your heart, trying to protect your friendship, and still trying to protect your dignity at the same time. Well, with all this big mess, here's what I should have done first. I should have run to God with my feelings first. That's what I should have done so that He could hear me, He could guide me, and tell me how to handle the situation and what I was feeling. I should have done that first. I should have gone to God first. Well, Matthew 6:33, this is the King James Version. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths." The NIV version says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He'll make your path straight." The New Living Translation, "Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take." Proverbs 4:23, the New International Version says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." And boy, child, my feelings were flowing from my heart. And here I was trying to fix the situation by running to a friend, and I should have run to God first. Well, healthy relationships require discernment. It requires understanding that all friends are not the same, and they're not supposed to be. There are friends who get full access. Then there are friends who get limited access. Then there are friends who get no access in certain seasons. Setting emotional boundaries doesn't mean that you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to protect your peace. Well, it makes me think of one time I was out shoe shopping. And I called a friend and I kept saying to her while I was on the friend, "Girl, I do not need to buy these shoes, but they are show stopping." And I was telling her all these great things about the shoes, but then I would always follow up and say, "But girl, I don't need to buy these shoes." My friend just stopped me and said, hey, if you're looking for somebody to tell you not to buy the shoes, you call the wrong friend. And I understood that. And I apply that to other friendships. You need to know where friends fit into your life. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes the most loving thing you can say to yourself is, "I care about them, but this season of my life requires something different from me." Or you can say, "I love them, but I can't show up in the same way right now." Now, even Jesus modeled boundaries. He ministered to the crowds. He walked closely with the 12 disciples, but only revealed certain things to Peter, James, and John. Luke 5:16 in the New Living Translation says, "But Jesus often withdrew to the wilderness for prayer." So even Jesus withdrew from friends, the crowds, the disciples, and even those three, that inner circle, and went to God in prayer. So healing doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. Healing looks like this. It looks like forgiving without pretending it didn't hurt. Forgiving without pretending. Don't pretend it didn't hurt. If somebody walks past me and steps on my toe and they didn't intend to, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me," it doesn't mean that my toe doesn't still hurt. My toe still hurts. You still stepped on it, although you didn't intend to, but you still did. So forgiving without pretending it didn't hurt. Releasing the guilt for being human. Don't feel guilty because you said ouch. If someone steps on your toe, you have a right to say ouch. You're human. Allow yourself to open up your heart again. Don't be one of those people, "Oh, I'll never ever get hurt like that again." Baby, if you want to have relationships and friendships There's going to be some bumps in the road. There's going to be some times you all don't agree. And there's going to be a time that sometimes somebody hurts the other person unintentionally or intentionally. Sometimes you just hurt people. And maybe you didn't mean to slash it that way, or you didn't mean for it to come out that way, or your tone was off, or you were reeling for something else and they came and asked you something the wrong time. Whatever it was, you're going to have to open up your heart again. And the fourth thing is acknowledging your wounds instead of ignoring them. When we talked about the person stepping on my toe, even though they say, excuse me, I still might have a little limp. I might still have a little limp from what they did. Even though they've apologized, I said, okay, but I still have a wound there that I got to address. So I still have to acknowledge it's there and I got to work on it. So for many of us, healing is less about replacing the friend and more about redefining the relationship. We are so quick to cut off and never open again. We are quick to cut folks off. I'm going to cut them off and just forget that. You'll never have real friendships if you keep cutting everybody off. You can't keep cutting everybody off. Remember, we, at some point, all of us are going to need forgiveness and another chance. Grace and boundaries can live in the same relationship. Now, I know all of y'all want to know the tea about the two relationships I spoke about earlier, friend A and friend B. And yes, let me tell you something that I love about friend A. Friend A rushed to me so quickly and apologized for betraying my trust. They didn't allow hardly any time to set up between us. They came to me so quick and just said, I am so sorry. I had no intention of making the situation worse. I forgave them and I believed them. And I started to confide in them again because some friendships are worth saving. And friend B, the engaged friend, they weren't hurt by the way that I felt. They were more upset that I didn't come to them to talk about it. They understood how I felt because they had gone through something similar and could have helped me through it. But sometimes we try to spare someone's feelings, and that's not always the answer. See, if I had gone to God first, then all of this could have been avoided. All right, let's go to a scripture. Ooh, the Bible is going to have something for you. Okay, Colossians 3:13. That's in the New Testament. Colossians 3:13, the New International Version says, bear with each other and forgive one another. The Life Application Bible says, oh, that's one of my favorite Bibles. The Life Application Bible, it says, be gentle and ready to forgive. Never hold grudges. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. The commentary below that, the breakdown, it says, the key to forgiving others is remembering how much God has forgiven you. Realizing God's infinite love and forgiveness can help you love and forgive others. That got me all the way together. Whew. Listen to it one more time. Be gentle and ready to forgive. Never hold grudges. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. It's a process. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Just like anything else that we do, it's a process. We have to learn how to do it. But you can do it. So before we close, listen, I want to pause and ask you to think about, what friendship wound do I need to acknowledge so that I can finally heal? Is it betrayal? Is it feeling unseen? Is it feeling undervalued? Is it being the strong friend all the time? Or maybe like me, it's the shame of having feelings you didn't expect at this age. Well, God can heal all of it, but He cannot heal what we refuse to acknowledge. So here's another scripture, James 1:5. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will give you the wisdom you need, even on navigating your feelings and your friendships. So thank you for joining me for part 2 of our friendship series. And I hope today reminded you that friendship isn't just about joy. It's about growth, grace, and honest reflection. Hey, maybe this week you need to journal about the friendships in your life. Pray to God for clarity on which ones need boundaries. And ask God to show you who belongs in your inner circle for this season of your life. Listen, if this episode helped you, share it with a friend. Just one. Make sure it's the one that you love. And don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a review, a comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen, I'll see you next week in part 3, and we're talking about friendships. Talk to you later.